The NFL season is back, and I know you are ready to get back after it. We already put out a part 1 to the NFL season, but god dang, things have changed. And half of that needs to be thrown out of the window. It feels like a lot of teams made some drastic changes. They picked up old players with old ties to coaches or organizations they were previously with, and since there weren't really any preseason games to view their ability. So we're going to get into that, the changes that we've made to our video, and what you need to be looking at for week 1. My name is Bradley McKeska with DoublySports, and this is our Sleepers, Studs, and Stacks, primarily for Draftkings, but a lot of followers use it for other DFS platforms. So welcome back. If you've been riding with me for the past couple of years, you know we pride ourselves on being transparent and getting the average player or the passive player like myself an advantage every single week. Make sure you hit that like button and give a thumbs up for good luck this week. You're almost guaranteed to possibly, probably, maybe, might even do well just for giving this a like and subscribing to the channel if you enjoy the content. Support for today's episode of Sleeper Studs and Stacks is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you with the best tools for your grooming experience. Later on, we'll tell you how you can save 20% on your next order and get free shipping. Now, if you missed it last week, we are doing a giveaway in part 1 of our Draftkings Week 1 Sleeper Studs and Stacks. Make sure you go check out that video to see how you can get your next Millionaire Maker ticket covered for free. All right, that's enough rambling. I'm sorry, got to get the important stuff out of the way, but now the really important stuff. It's our Sleeper Studs and Stacks recap. In the part 1 video, we mentioned Mohamed Sanu, Jalen Reagor. Obviously, we have to pull those guys down. It's a slight downgrade to Curtis Samuel, who reportedly isn't having a great camp. As a Panthers fan, I hope that's false or bad information, but you got to kind of trust the media and what they're saying, that he's not really having the best time thus far. So we'll wait to see how the season plays out for him before we put him in any lineups. And as things continue to come out this week, we're going to keep you up to date over on Facebook, facebook.com/DoublySports, as well as on Twitter. Those links are down in the description. We need to get to those players that will put you in a better position to land in the cash each and every week. So, obviously, we need to roll over and start talking about those sleepers. I've always said I play a lot of 50-50, double-ups, the 3-entry max contest, put the odds in our favor, so I'm going to continue to do that this year. Our goal, 4 times the points per $1,000 spent, so hopefully spending $50,000 gets us 200 points in return. You should be cashing every week. A $5,000 player should get us 20 points, and so on. So, these sleepers are the low-price guys under $5,500 that we think you can fit into your lineup and get a good return on your investment. It could be because of the injuries to the starters, injury to the opposing defense, or bad pricing from Draftkings. You'll notice there are still a few more players than usual on here. Don't think that I'm just picking everyone under $5,500. Without the preseason, we're really shooting blindly, okay? For now, we have to take our best guesses at looking through team videos and the media releases that have come out. Mark Ingram and Marquise Brown both stay on the sleepers list from this Baltimore offense. I think Ingram, once again, should get 2 touchdowns in this game. J.K. Dobbins might eat into that, but he shouldn't see the field too much early on into the season. And Hollywood Brown, there's always a chance for him to make a big play. A lot of people are making a big deal about the 20 pounds that he's put on in muscle in the offseason. But my biggest thing is Hayden Hurst is gone. Those targets have to go somewhere. Sure, they'll probably go to Mark Andrews, but he's not going to be looking Mark Andrews' way every single route. I expect his numbers to go up this season. New addition, Antonio Gibson, and I'm not the only one who's on him. We know, we've heard, $4,000 against Philadelphia. No one really expects Washington to win this game. I certainly don't, but they don't really have any other option in the backfield. They've named him the starter, $4,000. That's minimum value for the running back position this year. Clearly too cheap, and a great way to offset a $10,000 CMC or a $9,000 Michael Thomas that you might be investing in. Deshaun Jackson at $4,900 going up against Washington on the other side of the game I just mentioned. Alshon Jeffrey and Jalen Reagor are out. So, a decent-sized bump to Deshaun Jackson against his former team, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and Greg Ward. I believe there's some other wide receivers there, but I think Deshaun Jackson's obviously going to have the biggest bump. Washington's flat out terrible. We know that. They are bad. If Carson Wentz is throwing, 25 times a game? How many do you think are going to go to Zach Ertz? 10? Maybe Miles Sanders picks up 5. Where are those other 15 targets going to go? It's going to have to be Deshaun Jackson or whoever lines up on the other side of the field. $4,900 for a wide receiver 1 week 1 against a bad Washington defense? I'll take this all day because that's a high floor and high opportunities. Hayden Hurst, $4,300 against Seattle. Seattle struggled against the tight end at times last year, a team that we always picked on. We said it in last week's video. Matt Ryan loves to find his tight end in key moments. Last year with Austin Hooper, Hayden Hurst now steps into that, has fantastic hands, good, decent speed, great route running, should step in nicely and give Matt Ryan kind of that outlet target. Devin Singletary at $5,400 against the New York Jets now. With warning, he is still competing to get the majority of the carries with Zach Moss. Again, it's beginning of the season. We don't know exactly how this breakdown is going to happen, but so far things are kind of leaning the way of Singletary. It's going to hinge on the amount of workload that he gets in this game, but at $5,400 against a bad Jets team, Buffalo will probably be running the run game a lot in this one. Now, on our watch list, Scary Terry at $5,600, $100 over our $5,500 threshold, but fully expect him to be extremely popular pick this week. DK Metcalf at $5,800, almost cracked it onto our stud slide because he is in the top 15 in the NFL in red zone targets. I gotta expect him to get 1, maybe 2 touchdowns this week. He's certainly gonna have the opportunities. Will be a nice plug and play for one of my wide receivers. $5,100, Kareem Hunt against Baltimore. It's a good game script for him. Just nailed down a big contract. He's that passing down back. We know he's going to catch the ball out of the backfield. Nick Chubb, more of the ground and pound, more normal running back. Kareem Hunt, the guy that can catch it out of the backfield. Expect him to have a decent day. Chargers wide receivers with Mike Williams out, Michael Pittman and Jack Doyle combining with Phillip Rivers. They've had a great offseason together so far. They say Phillip Rivers can't throw the ball quite as far down the field as he once was. I got to think he's got to look at those shallower routes, and Jack Doyle kind of fits that script. Our studs. Okay, we know some of these are blatantly obvious. Of course, you're going to take the number 1 wide receiver against a bad defense, but sometimes you got to make some choices. So we're going to lay out the guys that we are focusing the most on that are top dollar. Reminder, last week in part 1, right here at the studs moment in part 1 video, I mentioned how you could become a winner. After you finish watching this video, go back to part 1 and comment with who you think will be the top scorer on Sunday's slate, along with their Draftkings points total. You have until 1 o'clock on kickoff on Sunday to enter. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited. That is in part 1 of our sleepers, studs and stacks. The studs. Let's recap what we covered last week. Along with probably all of America, we're still very high on Miles Sanders. I think he's 4th overall on my big board for running backs this week, behind CMC, Austin Eckler, and Alvin Kamara. I think those 3 guys, the 4 of them, are all going to have massive games this week. But Miles Sanders, his price tag's kind of the prettiest to me. Devontae Adams is the only one that's a real receiving threat in Green Bay. Michael Thomas will continue to be Michael Thomas, especially at home in the Dome. Austin Eckler and CMC, like I mentioned, probably going to be 2 of the highest owned running backs this week outside of in Washington. George Kittle and a can't lose spot. Lastly, I mentioned T.Y. Hilton, and I got a little pushback. I might be the only one that's high on this one, and I'm willing to fall on that sword. I know Phillip Rivers might not be able to throw the deep pass, but T.Y. Hilton is still a threat with the ball in his hands. The Colts have one of the best, if not the best, offensive lines in football, and Rivers will have plenty of time and plenty of opportunities to connect with T.Y. Hilton. New additions for this week. Alvin Kamara. He's now entered camp. He looks healthy. Should see great volume week 1 on one of the highest scoring games in week 1. There's no reason he shouldn't be touching the ball 17 to 20 times in this one. It could be a complete blowout and Latavius Murray comes in. I don't expect that to be the case because Tampa Bay, even though I think slightly overrated, could score very quickly with the weapons that they have. It all depends on how Tom Brady is kind of working in with all the new guys. Chris Carson at $6,200. It's like a bargain bin version of Saquon in this one, okay? Just in this game, no team has really been tackling in practice, right? There haven't been a lot of preseason games, obviously, so no one's getting used to hitting the running back in pads. I don't think the Atlanta Falcons have what it takes to be stopping Chris Carson down after down after down. They have years of practice of not actually tackling the running back. I look for him to explode this weekend. Stephon Diggs, new home, new QB, new offense. I think he could start this year off with a bang. Josh Allen, always a threat with his arms and his legs. Stephon Diggs has the speed to go get under the ball and let it float into his arms, and it could be beautiful this week. Stephon Diggs, not only fast, but he's comfortable going up and getting the ball at its highest point. I think it's going to be a beautiful relationship in Buffalo, and one of the lowest prices you'll see Stephon Diggs at all season. Finally, the most important stud. It's the man in the mirror, man. It's you, Big Daddy. And right now, for those of you listening to me speak, we're getting you the hookup with a special 20% off and free shipping. Listen to this. Manscaped knows the pains you go through all season long. Keeping your field turf in top shape? No one wants to play on an unkept field. And that's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineering team spent 18 months perfecting the greatest trimmer ever created. And they just released their new and improved Lawnmower 3.0. Their third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. When I tell you premium, I mean premium. The battery life is going to last up to 90 minutes, so you can take a longer shave. Guys, take your time getting into all those tight windows and cleaning up the sensitive areas. One of my favorite features on this is the LED light, which illuminates grooming areas for a closer and more precise trimming. And let's not forget about the charging stand, okay? I put mine in the guest bathroom, but I don't have a problem with it because I like to show my mower off loud and proud. Because this intelligently designed stand is a convenient charging dock powered by USB. So, if you're listening to me talk right now, which you obviously are, I want you to experience it firsthand for yourself. Get 20% off plus free shipping with code Doubly. That's DOUBLY, Doubly at manscaped.com. Now our stacks, okay? These are at least 3-player builds that get you a good foundation for the week ahead. For instance, if you think DeAndre Hopkins is poised for a big game, Kyler Murray's probably going to piggyback off of that and have a strong game as well. They go hand in hand. Tyreek Hill's success relies on the success of Patrick Mahomes. So, who are the best stacks this week? Obviously, we've chatted up the Seahawks in every single slide, so that's where we're going to start. Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Chris Carson. Yes, I love Tyler Lockett in this one, but I think dollar for dollar, DK Metcalf might be the better price. Carolina Panthers. Okay, I didn't go too far in depth, but I don't think the Panthers are very good. And they could be in a lot of shootouts or games where they have to score a lot of points. So the CMC usage is still there, and there is a ton of speed on this offense. They could be scary at times and open up to big plays, which makes me think Teddy Bridgewater, DJ Moore, and CMC should have a pretty decent game against the Las Vegas Raiders. Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, I don't think I really need an explanation for this one. They're facing Washington football team who is just not good, right? Alshon Jeffrey's out and Jalen Reagor's out, which means bargain bin for you with Deshaun Jackson, Miles Sanders, Zach Ertz. Again, they're going to combine for 75% of the 30 to 35 targets that we might see in this game? That's 20 catches between the three of them. I'm happy with those numbers. And then finally, a mini stack that's coming a bit more popular as the week goes on. People are trying to find bargain plays at the quarterback position. Cam Newton against Miami with Julian Edelman. If they're as in tune as the Boston media is reporting, this could be a scary duo this week. The running back situation is something that's not great. But with N'Keal Harry, Julian Edelman, Cam Newton, I think this is going to be a great one this week. Our defenses, I think you can always find a diamond in the rough in defense. I really do. You'll hear me week in, week out, give you someone that's under $3,000 that I'm probably going to play. Might not be the case this week because, again, we don't know what we're going to get out of these defenses. So I'm going to stick with one that's a little bit more trusty with the Buffalo Bills. $3,700 against the New York Jets, one of the worst teams in the league, and the cheaper price than we normally see a number one defense on Draftkings. I'll still try and fit the Bills in anywhere I can this week. Again, normally I like to be cheaper, but I'll try and fit the Bills in this week. Baltimore at $3,100. If you hadn't heard the rumors about OBJ on that one podcast, you might want to Google it, okay? If you're under 18, don't. But it's nasty. Anyways, they're always the center of attention, and I think they're just not living up to the hype week after week, year after year. I think Baltimore runs away with this one, and I just don't think Cleveland comes out to play. Baltimore at 3,100 could be a nice play to save you $600 off of the Buffalo Bills defense, I should say. And finally, I know you're gonna hate me for this. I got some hate last week, but hear me out. Carolina Panthers at $2,500 against Las Vegas. I do think the Panthers give up over 21 points. All right, let me throw that out there. I think they give up over 21 points. That doesn't mean that I don't think that they're not going to end up with 3 or 4 sacks and 2 turnovers in this game. Watching their game film, or their practice film, I should say, they've worked on punching the ball out and creating turnovers, much like many other defenses have. Bradley, what are you talking about? Okay, hear me out. The Raiders have nothing but basically rookie wide receivers. There's no way they're on the same page with Derek Carr yet. I think some bad routes, bad offense, great pressure being created on the ends from Carolina Panthers could result in some turnovers. I still expect them to get a double-digit points day. At only $2,500, one of the cheapest defenses on the slate will still get you double digits. I'm all about that. All right, guys, thank you so much for making it this far into the video. If you haven't already, give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a thing. Later on this week, we're going to have our game picks where we're picking all 16 games of Week 1 in the NFL season. That'll come out Thursday before kickoff for the Chiefs and the Texans. We're going to pick all 16 games, and you will continue to hear Sleeper Studs and Stacks every single week. Make sure you connect with us on social media. Find me on Twitter at Brad M. Lee. That's my personal Twitter. Or if you want sports only, find me, DoublySports. Send your questions there. I'm always happy to talk sports with you or anyone for that matter. Instagram at BWE and on Facebook, facebook.com/DoublySports. And if you want to get our starting 5 and get a more in-depth look at our lineup for the week in Draftkings, as well as our late bloomers report that comes out, patreon.com/DoublySports. And that comes out Sunday morning for free on Facebook, facebook.com/DoublySports. Thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully the next time that I see you is in the green.